If you're about to pick up Red Mage for the first time and would like an overview of its abilities and mechanics, then this video is for you. In this Red Mage Primer, we will go over how to play Red Mage at level 50 specifically, including the important role actions available. Let's start with the balance gauge. This gauge measures your white and black mana. For the sake of this video, I will refer to the ordinary mana as MP and the Red Mage's white and black mana as mana types. Casting spells will produce these two mana types depending on the spell. If the difference between the two types of mana is greater than 30, you will favor the greater one, which makes the weaker one generate slower. You want to avoid this. The solution is to try to always focus on producing the lower one when you have the choice. When the gem turns red, you have enough mana to start and finish your melee combo. You need 80 of both mana types to do so. We will return to this later. The primary mechanic of the Red Mage is the passive ability Dual Casting. Whenever you take the time to cast a spell, you gain Dual Casting, making your next spell with a cast time instant. The way that this interacts with your toolkit is that you have both fast spells, like Jolt, and slow spells, like the Thunder. It should be clear from the tooltips that the fast spells are only slightly weaker than the slow spells, so casting the slow spells properly is not a good idea. Instead, you cast Jolt, which then grants you dual casting, allowing you to cast the Thunder or the Arrow instantly. Remember to try to focus on casting the one that corresponds to the mana you have the least of. Whenever you cast the Thunder or the Arrow, there is a 50% chance that it enables you to use one of the stronger fast spells, the Fire and the Stone. These spells take priority over Jolt due to the higher mana production as well as the higher damage. Additionally, if you somehow have access to one of these spells, you have a proc as it is commonly called, but you also somehow have a dual casting proc, then you may want to prioritize using the slow spell you do not have a proc from. Just keep in mind that it is more important that you don't end up favoring that mana type because of it. Acceleration is a special oGCD that makes your next 3 casts of the Thunder or the Arrow always proc the Fire or the Stone respectively. Just keep in mind that the duration of this effect is not infinite. Besides this, the Red Mage has 3 other oGCDs available at level 50 that all do damage. Flash is a simple attack action that you want to use as often as possible. Don't bother sitting on it, the cooldown is so short you will probably get it available again in time if for some reason you really do need it for something. However, do remember to only use it after a dual casted spell. See the video in the corner for more information on weaving, GCDs and oGCDs. Core, Recall and Displacement are 2 actions that together serve a special purpose. Core Recall moves you to your target such that you can use your melee combo, while Displacement moves you back to a distance. Use these accordingly, but always remember that the amount of running you can do between casts due to dual casting may allow you to simply run up to the enemy or run away from them, depending on what you require. Consider that both Core Recall and Displacement do significant damage too, and that the burst movements can bring you to safety much faster than running. See the video in the corner for more information on movement. Your melee combo is your absolutely most powerful single target attacking option when it is enchanted from your balance gauge. To do so, you need to have 80 of both white and black mana to start. The GCD timers on these 3 attacks are significantly faster than your spells, causing them to be effectively more than 50% more powerful than your general spellcasting options in terms of damage per second. Next, let's talk about Area of Effect options, or AoE for short. At level 50, your AoE options are limited. Essentially, all you can do is use the Thunder 2 or the Arrow 2 and then scatter, alternating the mana types to keep them both up. At this level, this equates to 220 potency every 5 seconds per target. This introduces a set of specific strategies depending on the amount of enemies at hand. For 2 targets, you want to replace Jolt by the Thunder 2 and the Arrow 2, or in other words replace the fast single target spell Jolt with the fast AoE spells. The Fire and the Stone are however still more powerful than the AoE options. For 3 targets you want to replace the Thunder and the Arrow, note these are the single target slow spells, with Scatter, the AoE slow spell. Additionally, you also replace all fast single target spells with the AoE fast spells. At 5 targets you might want to not use your melee combo at all. Personally, I would also recommend keeping your melee combos for 2 targets or less at this level. You should also remember to use your flesh, core, and displacement in between your spellcasts for extra free damage. Finally, let's talk about role actions. Swiftcast is a simple action that effectively is the same as activating dual casting without casting a spell to do so. The primary use of this action is to be capable of continuing your attack while running if you need to. You can gain a small amount of damage from skipping a fast spell this way, but if you don't have Swiftcast when you really need it, it can hurt you a lot more, so keep that in mind. Lucid Dreaming causes you to gain 3500 MP over 21 seconds. The basic MP regeneration in the game is 200 every 3 seconds, so 4000 over 60 seconds. This is relevant because Red Mages actually spend more than 200 MP every 3 seconds on average, so if a fight drags on, you will eventually be required to use Lucid Dreaming. If you die, recovering your MP to a healthy state after being resurrected also requires the use of Lucid Dreaming for the same reasons. It is not a bad idea to use Lucid Dreaming early, so using it when you have about 7500 MP or less usually works out well. Let's summarize. For single target, you attack primarily by alternating fast spells and slow spells, prioritizing more powerful procced fast spells over the non-procced jolt, and try to prioritize the slow spell for which you do not have a proc waiting, while also prioritizing the slow spell that produces the mana type you currently have less of. When you reach 80 white and black mana, you use your melee combo, where core and displacement may be convenient to assist in the movement required. Remember to use flesh on cooldown and make use of acceleration to get more procs. Swiftcast can be a small damage gain or mobility tool, and Lucid Dreaming is useful for keeping your MP high. For AoE, fast AoE spells override Jolt on 2 targets and all fast spells on 3 targets. Scatter overrides slow spells at 3 targets. Don't bother using melee combos with 5 or more enemies, but consider saving the melee combo for more single target focused combat anyway. Don't forget to use Flash, Swiftcast, core, displacement and Lucid Dreaming. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or need clarifications, please leave a comment down below. Fun fact, the Red Mage employs the White Mage and Black Mage spells very differently to them. Fast spells are the typical attack spells, slow spells are the damage over time effects, and the melee combo finishers later on are the signature AoE attacks.